Okay, hey everyone, this is just a video just for teachers, just to give you a sense of day one of J-term. So when you walk back into school on Monday, you have a sense of what is going on and how to tackle the morning entrepreneurial challenge. All right, so 7:45, you get back, attendance and settling 10 minutes up at the top of the Google Doc. Then you can roll into, use your discretion here, see when students are settled and ready to take on the next part of the challenge. Then roll into the J-term overview stuff. My daughter wants to say hi real fast. Okay, no, she didn't really want to say hi. Then roll into the J-term overview stuff. So I have two videos here, one on J-term generally and the beautification projects, and then another one sort of opening up the entrepreneurial challenge. That'll take you about 15 minutes. Throw some discussion in there if you want. Really use your discretion throughout this entire 2 weeks about how best to use time. These documents will have a lot of content in them. There's even content at the bottom that I'm not even planning to use in the minute by minute. But there's tons of content there. You make decisions about how best to use that, how much your students need to be challenged, whether you're overworking them or underworking them and they need more to do. All of that is your call. You guys make some choices about how best to allocate time as this thing rolls out. Those minute-by-minute projections, I think, are just projections on my part. Typically, I project less time than is needed, and so frequently things run a little long. So you might not get to everything. That's fine. You can always roll through day one stuff on day two. That's no worries, and on as it goes. So, okay, we do our overviews. Then I have a few videos on why we're doing this, what is entrepreneurism, then another video from me, then a few videos that start to get into some content. There's a great video from Detroit about sort of what happened to Detroit during the downturn, when jobs go away. I thought that was sort of cool. That all leads to like a 10-minute activity where, and it could be more than this, see how it goes, but I think about a 10-minute activity for students to sort of identify a local business and ask a lot of the hard questions, like who is the owner, when was it formed. Have students try to answer all of those questions on the particular company that they're looking at, okay? You can write those questions up on the board if you want, or just zoom in on those questions on the Google Doc, however you want to post those questions for students to look at. All right, fine. So after that, we get into more of exactly what the task is, and so I have a few more videos from me there, 2 videos from me sort of on the major resources that we're going to use, as well as the work products that we're going to use, that students are going to be producing over the 2 weeks. There's a sample pitch there, but I left it highlighted simply because I don't think you're going to have time for it. But if you do, you can use that sample pitch. I think we're going to return to sample pitches later in the content in the week, just to let students see examples. There's plenty of examples online, so I'll put a few more up. Okay, then an activity to generate a list of questions. I'll come around to all classes during the morning. On Monday morning, I'll be popping in on all classes. So I want this activity to generate a list of questions on the board for me when I get into the room, so that there's already some questions that students have that I can answer when I get in there. All right. So that's about a 10-minute activity, trying to hone in on some really good questions. Pretty simple. You can reformat that activity if you want. It's not that well structured of an activity. All right, fine. Now we're at 9 o'clock. Give them a break. Put the breaks in however you feel appropriate. I put one break in, one 10-minute break in the morning, but you can do more or less. See how they're doing. Okay, then from 9:20 to 9:50, sort of take a half hour to explore social entrepreneurship. I have a big activity structured in there. That'll take quite a while to do, where students look at a bunch of news stories from NPR on social entrepreneurship They can make these videos happen however best they can. If they want to both listen to the same audio clip, they might have to go in the corner and listen to the clip, or share earbuds. One person listens to it, then the other person listens to it. Figure it out, make it work on that one. So then some sharing at the end on social entrepreneurship, all right? Once they dive into a company and sort of these globally interested social entrepreneurs, then 15 minutes of sort of talking about as a whole class what social entrepreneurship is, what some of the really interesting stories that emerged out of those bunch of NPR clips. Just some real good discussion I hope can happen around social entrepreneurship. Then from 9:50 to 10:30, that's a 40-minute block from which I think you can achieve two, showing the TED Talks on two of the big topics. Now, these TED Talks are long, so it could be that only one works here, but Lori Henry helped pick these TED Talks for us on each of these big 5 challenges. Let the students, I'd say, pick 2 out of 5. That would be, I think, the best call. Let them provide you some guidance on which challenges they want to hear more about. They still have to do all 5, so don't let them get that out of their head. And we'll explain more about all 5 as the week goes on. But this is a good opportunity to get a couple started. Then we sort of get towards the end, which is now a big activity around ideation. I have a couple of videos to set up the ideation, but that big ideation challenge is around each of the 5 big topics. Have them begin to identify the dreams and the gripes, as well as the how might we statements. It is not important that they have a topic or an idea for a business at this point on day 1. That is not where I want the students to be at. All I want the students to be doing is exploring dreams, gripes, and framing those as opportunities here on day 1. And then the field work, leaving on day 1, is to ask someone else, ask one other person, it could be a parent, it could be a family member, it could be a guardian, what dreams, gripes they have on at least 2 of the big topics that we're covering, 2 of the 5 big challenges. All right, that's the overview of the day. That should take you till about lunch, hopefully. If not, like I said, there is additional content down at the bottom. More videos. You can watch more of the 5 TED Talk videos. You can give the students more time for ideation. All kinds of different ways you can play this thing. It's up to you. It's your call. I'll be bouncing around rooms in the morning. Hopefully we'll get this thing kicked off on Monday, and it will go super smoothly, and everyone will have fun and jump in to this activity. See you on Monday.